It was the equivalent of a summer's worth of rain in one 24-hour period. Floodwaters rushed through the streets, submerging vehicles, and we're learning tonight a woman was swept off a bridge and has died. While floodwaters create nightmares on the ground, airlines are severely impacted, with more than 7,000 flights in the U.S. delayed or canceled. More than half of all the flights out of Dallas-Fort Worth Airport today have been delayed. We have a lot of news to get to tonight, and CBS's Omar Villafranca is going to start us off from outside Dallas. Good evening, Omar.
Good evening. That rain fell overnight into today, Nora, and it prompted flash flooding like you're seeing right here and dozens of water rescues. It was all part of a system that hammered much of the Southwest. Late today, emergency crews rescued families with children in heavily flooded Seagoville, Texas, while rains and flash flooding submerged houses, cars, and even trapped drivers in and around Dallas.
But the current's so strong going past my house, it'll wash you away.
This woman was pulled to safety after the road flooded with little warning.
I thought I was gonna die. I was just panicking because I just wanted to get out of my car and get out of the water.
Dallas Fire Rescue responded to close to 200 vehicle rescues in just 24 hours.
And all of a sudden we were stopped, and then I see a car just like floating towards the wall. I was like, oh shoot.
Just a few weeks ago, triple-digit temperatures and drought conditions were baking North Texas, drying up the Trinity River in Dallas. But overnight, rain pounded the area, filling up the river basin.
She said the water's coming in, so I didn't think I thought it was going to calm down, but the rain kept coming.
Homes were also damaged. The rain so powerful, this apartment in downtown Dallas quickly ended up with 2 feet of water. Once the flooding receded, the damage became clearer. Out west in Utah's Zion National Park, torrential rains turned hiking paths treacherous, putting park-goers at risk. This person was filmed clinging to a large tree trunk in fast-moving floodwaters. And the search continues for a 29-year-old woman from Tucson, Arizona, who was hiking with her friends when the storm hit.
There are more than 20 people working on this search and rescue operation, and they're working all along the length of Zion Canyon.
Dallas County just declared this area a disaster. Now, the floodwaters are starting to recede. That's the good news, and folks here are hoping that the worst is over. Nora?
Devastating for so many. Omar Villafranca, thank you. And for more on this deadly storm and where it's headed, let's bring in the Weather Channel's Mike Bettis. Good evening, Mike.
Nora, good evening. The rain coming so fast and so hard in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex that city streets in Fort Worth filled up and looked like rivers here. And the water in many places has been slow to recede because we've had so much more rain through the afternoon and evening. There have been some areas around the Metroplex where rain gauges have pegged 15 inches or more of rain officially in Dallas, just over 9 inches of rain in the last 24 hours, the wettest 24-hour span in 90 years. Now, that's been good for our departures. It's basically eradicated our departure. That doesn't necessarily mean, though, that the extreme drought has gone away across Texas. Many locations have very significant rainfall departures for 2022. More heavy rains back in our forecast. Louisiana and Mississippi in particular. Nora, with some rainfall totals here estimated to be 5 to 8 inches over the next 24 hours. Flooding a near certainty.
Yeah, heading east. Mike Bettis, thank you. Well, now some breaking news in the legal battle over the FBI search of Donald Trump's Florida mansion. In a new court filing tonight, the former president is asking the judge to block the FBI from looking at the seized materials until a special master can be appointed to oversee the review. CBS's Robert Costa is in West Palm Beach tonight.
A U.S. official tells CBS News federal investigators are now evaluating video evidence that shows people at Mar-a-Lago accessing storage areas that contain classified documents, part of what prompted the FBI to search the estate. The investigation into Trump's alleged mishandling of the material can be traced back to the chaotic final days of his term, with then White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and others rushing to organize the documents as they dealt with a defiant president. Instead of sending the more than 24 boxes to the National Archives, sources say Trump brought them to Florida, sparking alarm and eventually leading to the seizure. Trump and his allies have slammed the search, and today his attorneys asked a Florida court to appoint a third-party attorney to review the evidence taken and return it.
We're going to come out swinging and say, look, this cannot be something where we just get a kind of a wink and a nod from DOJ that we're supposed to trust them.
The Trump team's filing comes as U.S. Magistrate Bruce Reinhardt prepares to decide whether to release portions of the affidavit that led to the FBI search.
Show us what you found, because the affidavit's going to have them tell publicly now what they told the court they were going to go find. Show us what you found.
The affidavit would provide critical detail, including whom federal agents interviewed and why they thought a crime was potentially committed. The Department of Justice opposes the release as threats against agents have spiked since the search. Judge Reinhardt, too, has been threatened.
He's been very careful. The DOJ has been very careful. But look, he fielded so many threats that they had to cancel services at his synagogue. He knows that the public pressure here is a crucible of the sort he hasn't had before.
The Trump legal team's motion included a claim that Trump is the frontrunner for the Republican presidential nomination in 2024, underscoring the political crosscurrents at play as these investigations continue. Nora?
Robert Costa in West Palm Beach for us. Thank you. Back here in New York, the summer rally on Wall Street hit the brakes over fears about inflation and the Fed's next interest rate hike. All three major indexes fell, with the S&P 500 and the tech-heavy NASDAQ falling more than 2%. It was the worst day for stocks since June. Well, there's a lot more news ahead on the CBS Overnight News.